there's always more work. There's so much more work than you could ever possibly do. And Aaron, to your point, yeah, what don't you do?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's when you have way too many balls that you can't keep them all in the air. Which ones do you put down?
Yeah. Well, and again,
and-
if you're at the head of that organization and you can't say no, it only gets harder the farther down you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that if that's like a word of wisdom I would like to give to any like senior manager out there, it's like, hey, if you don't know how to say no, if you don't develop that skill or don't develop the skill of, again, saying no is a strong way of putting it. It could also be being deliberate about what gets done and what you shouldn't do right now.
Yeah.
Then it only gets harder for each level below you. So
yeah, because they're following your example. You're setting that
Exactly.
standard. Like, you're going to burn out everybody who works for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think
that's like
Go
sort of like upward ownership, right? Like,
yeah,
you need to communicate. You need to be able to clearly communicate to your leadership, like, these are the priorities you've given me. I can only do 4 of 5. Which
Mhm.
4 are most important? I
Yep.
believe it's these 4. That's the exact way to approach that. You know, sometimes you get sort of, you've given me too much work. Like, that's like sort of the worst of that. Or
Yeah.
not saying anything. Suffering silence
Yeah.
is probably the worst. Then you've given me too much work. Okay, that's not very productive. Or, you know, these are the 5 things, I can only do 4. That's getting there. But when you really say these are the 4 I think are most productive or important and why, then you've given your leadership some guidance on how to make a decision
Love that. Yeah.
they may not be able to see.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Yeah.
assume that they can see what you can
Yeah.
see. You know, once you get above sort of the individual contributor level, like, people are just looking at things through different lenses.
100%.
And just because they don't see what you see doesn't mean they're not good. It means that they've got a whole different perspective, a whole different set of priorities.
Yeah. Well, if their job necessitates them seeing every little detail on
Yeah,
the ground, they're
exactly.
probably doing it poorly.